Vasudevaya. And it began like that. And then for next 7 days and 7 nights, Bhagavatam was recited day and night. How long is our Bhagavatam? 60 minutes. Well, they were there for, well, they had to be there that long, because that is how much long King Parikshit was going to be alive for. And then that Takshak, now sleeping. He must be tired. Sukadeva Goswami said in the middle of his, he must be tired. Let's take a break. What about water? Let's drink some water. King Parikshit said, what? I'm drinking nectar. Why should I go for? He's going for water. King Parikshit was not interested in any interruption. He was fully attentive, alert. Being alert. Hari Hari. I said, what? Water? Water became the cause of the curse. Remember? He was looking for water. And he ended up getting cursed. No more water. No more food. No, nothing. So they went on for Hari Hari. Seeing is believing. You hear that in the Western world? Oh, well, this is everywhere. Oh, for me. Sukadeva goes, and what about water? You may drink. I'm drinking nectar, you may drink. Yeah, so seeing is believing. Now, was that in Bhagavatam spoken? Did that really happen? So when you go to places like this, like Shukta, then you see, and then you conditioned as we are, the doubting minds as we have, and we go to such places, and then right here, Sukadeva Goswami sat, and there Parikshit Maharaj was sitting at his lotus feet, and in the assembly There was Narad Muni, Srila Vyasadeva. Father is sitting in the audience, and Sukadeva Goswami has taken a seat and a microphone and is going to address you and his father, and Parashar Muni and Vasishtha Muni and Devarshis and Rajarshis and Maharshis from all over, what? Not India, all over universe. Yeah, there's population out there, and the world is populated. That's how you say it. Englishmen would say that. So they had come. Some even taking the waterways. They jumped into Ganga in the heaven, and down they came through the stream of water and landed on the earth, and then down the stream there was Hastinapur, and then they came to the banks of Ganga, and there already lots of personalities had assembled. Well, it's very difficult for us to imagine and conceive how quickly they all assembled there. Like that, instantly. King was cursed, and all this happened. And that's also where we had now come to Shukdal. Many of the pastimes, well, several pastimes, this happened right there, right over there. This happened right over there. This happened right over there. There's Hastinapur here. This is where Vidura stayed. Yeah, so right there in the forest, King Parikshit had gone hunting and then looking for water, and he was cursed by immature son of Shamyak, taken his seat outside Hastinapur on the banks of Ganga, and so many have come. How many? No, that was in Naimisharanya. There were 88,000 had come in Naimisharanya. I don't know the number. Must be a pretty big number. Yeah, we were being pointed out, or all around here. They're all sitting, they're all around, they're sitting. That's where we sat, and we were doing our recitation of Bhagavatam last week. We were just sitting in the same spot where all these unlimited number of rishis and munis and all had assembled. So when they were there, and then their whole debate was going on. What should King Parikshit do? He has only 7 days to go, and the goal is Ante Narayana Smriti. What is the goal? What is the goal? Ante Narayana Smriti. Ante means what? At the end, Ante Narayana Smriti. If you could remember Narayan, 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 at the time of death, then you attain the perfection. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejanti ante kalevaram tam tam eva kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Lord Krishna says, whatever you remember at the time of death, what happens? That determines your future. And that king who? He remembered the deer. Who? I didn't get that. And he ended up becoming, Bharat Maharaj ended up becoming deer. So this is one example. So when that happens, well, he became deer. Everyone becomes somebody. Who does he become is determined by what you remember. What are your thoughts at the time of death? That's why some old man was about to die, and his family members had gathered around him. The family was kind of a devotee of Bholenath, Shankar. And family could now see he has only few more breaths to go. And they're all encouraging and appealing. Daddy, 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 say Bhola, Bhola kaho, Bhola, say Bhola. But Daddy ended up saying Coca-Cola. He couldn't say Bhola because he was addicted to Coca-Cola. And he must have gone to Coca-Cola Loca. Hari Hari. The family members, especially his sons, were so must be foolish. One of our devotee preacher, he was in Haridwar, and he found that the lorry is full of Coca-Cola, and they were distributing free Coca-Cola. When asked what was happening, and they told the whole thing. Our last will of our father was what? What did he say? Last thing he said was Coca-Cola. Ganga tera pani amrita. Ganga, the amrita, the nectarian Ganga was flowing right there on the banks of Ganga. They were distributing Coca-Cola. So Ante Narayana Smritihi. So there are different proposals were coming. Karmakandis, Jnanakand, like that. They were proposing different things. Not very convincing, not the right thing to do, but they were Jata Mat Tata Pat. So many as many opinions, those many paths. So they are proposing different paths, different processes. And then there comes Srila Sukadeva Goswami, hey! Yam Prabhrajantam, the traveling monk, Sukadeva Goswami. As soon as he took birth, he started running away from family and all else into the forest, totally disinterested in family affairs and relations, and was running. Dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava. This is how Sutta Goswami in Naimisharanya, when he began his recitation of Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami's guru is Sukadeva Goswami. In that assembly in Shuktal, where Narad and Vyas and Vashisht and Parashar were sitting, Sutta Goswami also was sitting there and listening. He was hearing Bhagavatam. And then, another time, beginning of the age of Kali, in Naimisharanya, Sutta Goswami recited same Bhagavatam, which he had heard from Sukadeva Goswami. He repeated. He did Shravanam in Shuktal, and he did Kirtan in Naimisharanya. So that time, he's offering his pranam to, he's doing Mangalacharan, Sutta Goswami is doing, and he prays like that. He's offering his pranam unto Sukadeva Goswami, saying, Yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta kratyam dvaipayano virahakatara ajuhava. And Dvaipayan Vyas, as his son now, soon after taking birth, is running towards the forest, and Srila Vyasadeva is running after him. Putreti tanamayataya taravo vinedus. And he saying, Putreti. He said, Putra. Srila Sridhar Swami Maharaj, you heard? Not Iskcon Sridhar Swami Maharaj. Sridhar Swami, he while commenting on this verse, Yam pravrajantam anapetam apeta kratyam putreti, says a putra, he addressed Rasva Dirga Pluta, short, long, and very long. He said, Putra. There was no response. Putra! No response. Putra! And he addressed his son in three ways, or three different tones, or short and long, but nothing worked. Taravo, tarava. Tarava means trees. Only trees responded. Sukadeva Goswami did not respond. As Vyasadeva was saying, Putra, and then the trees were saying, there was echoing. There was echoing, as if the trees were saying, Putra, 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 Taravo Vinedus. And the commentary says that when the trees were saying, what? When we are not attached to our children, tree children are what? Who are tree children? Fruits, flowers, trees give birth, or from trees fruits are born, flowers are born. So as if your trees were saying, Srila Vyasadeva, even we are not attached to the fruits and flowers. Look at your face into the mirror. You are so attached. Trees were echoing. Trees were conveying something to Srila Vyasadeva. Tam sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. And that's Srila Sukadeva Goswami, as if he's sitting in everyone's heart and knows everyone's heart and feelings. That sarva bhuta hridayam muni, Sukadeva Muni, Mahanatosmi, I offer my obeisances unto such. Sukadeva Goswami is a prayer of Sutta Goswami is praying unto Sukadeva Goswami like that. So that Sukadeva Goswami arrives on the scene. We were reminded of remembering this as we were seated in Shuktal, Hare. I would like to transport you there by sharing this experience. So this Sukadeva Goswami was Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigya Yuna Bhuja said. To understand the Vaishnava Paramahams Parivrajakacharya like Sukadeva Goswami is not an easy thing. Vigya, even knowledgeable persons would fail to recognize and understand. Really. Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra. So as Sukadeva Goswami was coming towards the destination where Sutta Goswami, Srila Vyasadeva, Parikshit Maharaj was seated and others were all around him. He was headed towards that destination. But he was going through Hastinapur town and everyone was making fun of Sukadeva Goswami, throwing rocks at him. Either pulling his sika or they pulled my sika many times. And many things happened to all of us, the Vaishnavas. So he had that kind of treatment. They were spitting at him. Hey, look at it. Crazy. Right? We say they are crazy. And they say that Hare Krishnas are crazy. So he was totally misunderstood. He was in his own world, as all the Vaishnavas are supposed to be in his own world, absorbed. Munijana manasahans. As he's observing Munijana manasahans. Krishna or Krishna Leela, Krishna's pastimes, they are like they become like a swan, and in the heart, lake of their heart or lake of their mind, the swan is swimming, wandering. Munijana manasahans. So Sukadeva Goswami was like that. Hari Hari Bol. Lord Premanande. Hari Bol. Say Hari Bol. It's a challenge to stay awake. Maybe you're absorbed. When you're oblivious to the surroundings, you don't even. Like Sukadeva Goswami was totally oblivious to. So walking and walking and walking and talking to himself, and as King Sukadeva Goswami arrives near that venue where Bhagavatam was going to be recited, so all assembled there. When they took notice of Sukadeva Goswami's presence, as they become cognizant, Sukadeva Goswami is coming. Hey, Sukadeva Goswami is here. Sukadeva Goswami, hey, Sukadeva Goswami. He was a big name. He was a big, very popular amongst the sages and rishis and munis, and he was top-notch personality. Not very old. How old? He was only 16 years old. When he was born, he was 16 years old. You know that. This is another. He stayed in there, in the womb of his mother for 16 years. Very well. And he was growing and growing and growing. He was as big as 16-year-old boy, almost a man. That's when Srila Vyasadeva managed to get him out of there. Could you imagine, for a mother carrying a child is no more a child, is a boy, carrying him around, and so Srila Vyasadeva had to do something. And so he finally had appeared, taken birth, but as soon as he took birth, as we said earlier, he starts running towards the forest. So he's only 16 years old, and but talking of the knowledge Well, I mean, knowledge-wise, I should have said, knowledge-wise, he was like a very old person. You get old, you get old. There are two ways to get old and older is older by getting body older and older and older. That is one way to become old or older. For that you don't have to make much effort. Just make sure you don't die. And then you go on getting older and older and older. But the other way to measure the age is a knowledge. How much knowledge he has. The wisdom. Is he wise? So wisdom-wise, knowledge-wise, Sukadeva Goswami was very, very old. His body was 16 years old, but he was, knowledge-wise, he was very old. Old intelligence. Didn't one scholar who reviewed Prabhupada's books or Bhagavad Gita, he said, the speaker of this Bhagavad Gita must be of the old intelligence, is it? Old. It's like a wise person, an old person, matured person must have spoken this knowledge. He was using like that. Old, wise. So Sukadeva Goswami was like that, Hari Hari Bol. And we are expected also to grow old by becoming wiser. Prahlad Maharaj and his father, Hiranyakashipu, who was older. Who was older? Prahlad Maharaj was older than his old father, so-called old father. Prahlad was older. Mukunda and Raghunandan, I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, who is father, who is son? And one father, Mukunda, right? I think it was Mukunda, said, my son is my father. I'm just a son. He's my father, father figure. He's so mature, so advanced, so wise person. So Sukadeva Goswami was like that. So when he arrived on the scene, and the folks from Hastinapur town were still following him, making fun of him, doing this, doing that with him. So the folks from Hastinapur were following him, and in front of Sukadeva Goswami were all the sages. And as soon as they saw Sukadeva Goswami arriving, they all stood up. And then King Parikshit, the emperor of the world going forward and falling flat, Dandvat, and others were also offering obeisances unto Sukadeva Goswami. When those folks of the town, Hastinapur, were following him, making fun of this young boy, funny looking, and he has not combed his hair, and he wasn't even wearing any clothes. Why don't you put on some garments? If he was asked, he could have very easily said, what? I am already wearing one. Vasamsi jiranani yatha vihaya. Right? This body is a garment. How many garments you want me to wear? I already have one. I'm not without clothes. The body, I'm wearing body as my cloth. So a person with that understanding, that realization, that is what he was, but he was not understood by those children and ladies and some others. So when they saw the kind of reception this young boy, practically naked, and was receiving, and VIPs from all over the universe, they stand up and they move forward, they offer obeisances and prayers, and then you could imagine what those folks from that Hastinapur, they must have come to senses. Wow, wow, wow. We did not know. Wow. And wow. There's a wow factor. Wow, wow. The harder ways to learn lessons are judged by seeing whatever you see. Seeing is believing, but some things you have to see by hearing, not see by seeing. Your eyes don't show you much. You need to hear to understand what is what, who is who. So the King Parikshit was very, well, of course, very delighted, and then he says, darshana matrena shuddhanti vaigriha praman. Just your darshan, maybe it even says smarana matrena, not darshan, smarana matrena. Just remembering is enough. Remembering you, personalities like you, is enough for the purification of our homes and our family and our everything. But today we have opportunity to even see you. Darshana, sparshana, we could touch you. Saucha, we could wash your lotus feet. We have that opportunity. Asanadihi, we could offer you seat to sit on. We are very, very fortunate. I am, King Parikshit is, and others are. And then Sukadeva Goswami finally takes his seat, and then everyone else is walking out. As he took seat, they all left. So, and then King Parikshit. It's going to be dialogue between Sukadeva Goswami and King Parikshit for the next 7 days and 7 nights. So the very first inquiry, the question that has been raised by King Parikshit is Ataha Prachami Sansiddhyam. I'm asking, I'm inquiring. How to attain Sansiddhi. Sansiddhi. Siddhi means perfection. But not only Siddhi, but Sansiddhi. Samyak prakarena. Complete, wholesome perfection. How that could be attained by Mriyamanasya sarvada yat karyam purusheshya. I just add this. One who is about to die, what he should do? So that dying person attains perfection in his life. So, inquiring like that, and there are a few more things initially he has asked. And that's the first canto ends there. And second canto begins, and that's where Sukadeva Goswami, he does his Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then recitation begins and continues. Next 11 cantos. First canto is just setting the scene. Like the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is setting the scene, and Krishna-Arjuna dialogue or Krishna's speech, Song of God, begins only in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Likewise, in Bhagavatam also. The speaker of Bhagavatam, well, Sukadeva Goswami is also a speaker, but Bhagavatam, official speaker of Bhagavatam, the first speaker is Sukadeva Goswami, and his speech begins in the second canto of Bhagavatam. Hari Hari. And as he was about, I should be about to end, but then I remembered right now, I just remembered. The demigods arrived. Well, the others had, several were already there, and maybe some more arrived. And they were carrying a kumbha, means pot, the pitcher, had a nectar from Kumbha Mela, or churning of the ocean. So some they had drunk, some they had drunk. And then there was some remaining. They were carrying, and they proposed, Sukadeva Goswami, It's Amrit. It's nectar from the churning of the ocean. King Parikshit is about to will die. Feed this to him. He will become immortal. And in exchange, give us the nectar of Bhagavatam. And when Sukadeva Goswami hears this proposal, he said, get lost. You're comparing this Kumbha Amrit with Bhagavatamrit. This is offense. Like the 8th offense against the holy name. What? No. One before that. Yeah, consider the holy name chanting as like one of the auspicious activities, ritualistic activity mentioned in Karma Karn section of the Vedas. This is offense against the holy name, told Sukadeva Goswami. Consider this is very offensive. You are comparing Bhagavatamrit with this Amrit. And then Sukadeva Goswami just disregarded them. Already there were other proposals, as we said. Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj should do this, should do Ashtanga Yoga, should do Karma Karn, he should do this. And then there was another proposal from devotees. What about Amrit? That was the last offer. But that was all put aside. And the most important thing was Shranvanti Gayanti Grananti Sadhavaha. To hear and chant, and when you hear, yeah, you hear? Are you here? To hear? Are you near? Near here? That's what Lord says. Come near. Oh dear, do not fear. I'm here. Mamekam sharanam vraj. Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshishami vasuja. So as we hear and chant, the result is what? What happens? As we hear, as we chant, what is the outcome? What is the fruit? What is the... Remember. But remember. Oh, now I remember. So Bhagavatam is like that, full of Shravan Kirtan, and to remind us of the Lord, or remember our Lord, whom we have forgotten, and we have just now started remembering for some time now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, by merciful arrangement of Srila Prabhupada, the world has started remembering. There are some reminders coming. So that Bhagavatam Lord did disappear, well, after 125 years being on the planet. But then he also stayed behind in the form of Bhagavatam. Kalau nastadrasham isham. And as Lord left the planet, what happened? Instantly, kind of simultaneously, Lord departs and Kali Yuga arrives. When Kali Yuga arrives, Kalau nastadrasham isham. Everyone lost his eyesight. There's a darkness everywhere caused by tamogun. And then adhuna, then now, means then, the beginning of the age of Kali, Purana arka uditaha. Lord leaves the planet and Lord also arrives. Kali Yuga arrives, and at the same time Bhagavatam arrives. Lord took birth again in the form of Bhagavatam. Purana Arka Udita, brilliant as sun. Bhagavatam, the brilliant as brilliant as sun. Bhagavatam is here so that we could have vision, so that Bhagavatam could do a little eye operation, give eyesight to see. Hari Hari. Granthra Srimad-Bhagavatam ki. Srila Sukadeva Goswami Maharaj ki. Shuktal Dham ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Radha Gopinath ki. Gaur Premanande.